I've done voice lines, I'll say that.
I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us here at the All Elite Zone. I've been a huge fan of your work from early in AEW with the TPK Dragon Guy gimmick up until, Associate Stooge. You have a lot of unique moves and routines in your arsenal. A lot of really cool stuff you do. Is there any move or routine that you would most like to see represented in a video game?
Probably it's the one where I'm standing on the apron and the guy's in the ring and I leap over to the rope and enziguri him. That one, throughout my entire career, people have come up to me after matches and been like, dude, what? I don't even understand what you did. I saw you were out of the ring and you came in and kicked the guy. That's so cool. And every time I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's cool, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm like, I should do something more with it or anything. But I've always enjoyed it because it was just fun for me. I used to just always get in the ring like that. Like if I was in a tag match, I'd get tagged and I'd like leap over the ropes like that. And then I started just making it like, oh, well, I wonder if I can like enziguri you guys I get in. But for me, that's just a fun move. And then it's been my most unique thing that I'm like, I've never seen anyone else like try and steal it or do a variant of it. So I'm kind of like proud of that, of like, all right, that's mine and it's been mine. If I see it anywhere else, it's a blatant like, they did it. I'll be honored if someone does it because I'm like, hey, go for it, try it.
Excellent. For me personally, I would pay like major cash money to be able to dab elbow someone as a finisher in AEW Fight Forever. Speaking of AEW Fight Forever, have you ever played AEW Fight Forever? Are you a video game guy or do you keep it more to pen and paper? And if you have played AEW or would play AEW Fight Forever, which wrestler would you use the most or wrestlers would you use the most?
Yeah. Okay. So I have played it. I'm a big gamer all around, video game and tabletop. I love all tabletop games, honestly, more than just D&D. Like I could get into lots of tabletop gaming too. But yeah, I've played Fight Forever. On the first month it came out, I played it a lot. Nice. And it was because me and my buddies all grew up playing No Mercy together. Yeah. And so I played it by myself and I was like, okay, like it's a good game, but like, it has a lot like that. I would want more in the creative character, but I'm like, okay. I get it. This is our first game. Like you can't get everything in a first game.
You can't get Brandon Cutler.
Like, that's what I'd want. Cause then, that's what with the 2K games, you can make literally any kind of, you can make Santa Claus in them. And so it's, it'd be like that of like, yeah, I don't care who's in the game. Cause as long as they make a cool creative character, you can make anyone. And so me and my buddies, when we finally played it, when I played it with like my No Mercy group, that's why I was like, this game is so fun with my friends and stuff. Like when I played it alone, I was like, all right, yeah, it's kind of fun. And I played it with that group, and I'm like, I see why I love No Mercy. It was with that group that I was playing with. Yeah.
That's the best way to play the game was with actual people, like in a room together. That's the way to do it. Unfortunately, you couldn't pick Brandon Cutler. I wish you were in the game.
Right.
But who were you picking?
Yeah, Bubba on there.
Who were you picking, though? Who were your characters?
I was picking Ray Phoenix a lot.
Oh, he's great. He's great in the game, yeah. And he's great amazing. In person, too, yeah.
Right. That's why, is because I'm like, I want to have someone that's just pretty much like a creative character. It's like, who is that? Ray Phoenix.
Yeah. Perfect. He's got all the best moves, yeah. I personally would like to see you in AEW Fight Forever as well, Brandon. A bit ago, I ranked which AEW wrestlers I would most like to see in AEW Fight Forever, and I actually ranked you above Tony Nese and Christopher Daniels. Hey, how does that make you feel to be ranked higher to them, and will you rub it in their face next time you see them?
I feel great being like 99th out of 100 on your list.
No, you were like definitely high mid, dude. You were very high on the list. And I said when I did it, I was like, I'm going to take heat for this, but I'm going to stand by it. Brandon Cutler is a very interesting wrestler with unique moves that people will enjoy using.
Right.
It's true.
Oh, you know what? That even brings me back to another thing of like one of the best advices is I think it was when Breeze got fired. A lot of the girls went to the internet and said one of the best advices he gave is there's going to be kids on a playground that are going to pretend to be you. Yeah. What are they pretending to do? And so like I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's true. I was like, everyone's doing suck-its, in the 90s. So I was like, dang, what would I want my kids or, any kids doing? I'm like, boom, there you go.
Dab elbow, man, all the way.
Get everybody dabbing.
In addition to, video games, you also like all kinds of gaming. In fact, I saw on your YouTube channel, you did a playthrough of the recent Versus AEW card game. I actually did an unboxing on my YouTube channel of this.
Nice.
I think maybe there's a collab there happening, but
There you go.
let me know. Should I play this thing? Is this a solid game? Like, I like the versus system.
It genuinely is. That was the cool thing is I went to Gen Con for it. That they're like, hey, we need someone to just like cover at Gen Con. Like, you know, they want a wrestler there to like help push this game. That was the first I heard of it. I didn't even know we had a game going. Like, I know we were working with Upper Deck to do stuff, but I didn't know a game was even in the works or near done or that it was done. And so I went there and they taught me how to play it. And I'm like, this is genuinely a fun game. Not just that it's like, oh yeah, it's skinned AEW and all that. Yeah. But I'm like, but it's Upper Deck. They make amazing games. I love Legendary is probably my favorite board game of all time. Like every time I play it, I'm like, yep, this is just great. It's kind of like a couch co-op. You're working together, you're fighting each other, or you're fighting against each other to get the most points, but like you're fighting it overall against like the enemy. And so I've loved Upper Deck's like game systems they've made. And so I've never played the versus systems, and that was my first introduction into it. And I'm like, this is cool because it's a small deck. You can bring this kind of anywhere. It's just a one-on-one kind of a game. So, like, I genuinely dig that game. It's fun.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll have to give it a spin sometime.
There you go.
And so if there was one game you would like to see, like, an AEW skin on, would it be Legendary, or is there something?
In the beginning of AEW and right before the pandemic era, I was in talks with Upper Deck of trying to do an AEW Legendary. And then after a while of discussing it, it was like, I don't think it's going to, like, transfer perfectly, so they're like, it might be too hard, but they're like, we'll try and think of something. And I was like, okay, and like I was out of those talks, and then it sounds like they just went more for like, what if we did versus? And so like our company just went through with that, but I was at least in calls with Upper Deck trying to get like a Legendary version of it, and I'm like, I get it, it probably won't perfectly match over, but I love how many they've done. They've done GoldenEye and was it Alien and stuff.
There's a lot of different IP that are involved in the versus system. Now I can't remember from my unboxing, you didn't have a card in here, did you?
Nah.
Okay, well we got to get an expansion then. We got to get
that whole weekend. I kept giving them crap. I was like, I'm here helping push this game. I don't even got a card in the game.
You can't get an exclusive promo, right?
Right. Well, we did that at that event. They had like oversized as if I did have a card in the game, so I did sign some of those, and like that was the exclusive of the Gen Con event.
Well, that's pretty
cool. Oversized Brandon Cutler card.
I imagine those go for like tens of dollars on eBay now.
Probably a lot of ones.
You had a match against the Butcher and the Blade. You and Colt. Is that going to hit anything, or is that going to be a bonus match?
That'll be a bonus match. We'll have that up on the BT channel this Monday. You guys will be, and then we walked the concourse too, so you'll be able to see some of that.
You got spoilers? Was it a first win for you guys?
Colt got new shoes. There's a spoiler.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
Watch for Colt's shoes. I can't remember if he wore them in the match. I think he did.
I hope so.
For sure, when we're walking around the concourse, he's wearing them.
People really love the team of Cutler and Cabana. Can we expect more from the Tiger Boys?
Right. Yeah. I hope.
Is that the official name? Is that what we're going with? Is it Tiger Boys?
It's a pretty good name. That's a pretty good name.
And that came from the people. That's organic.
Yeah.
That's the best kind. Yeah, that's the best kind. Whose idea was for that whole thing to start? Who decided you guys would be a team?
So Colt approached me with that. He was like, "Hey, I really like your stuff you're doing." He's all, "I got this idea. What if I just wear a tracksuit like you, but like modify it and have it be different, and like just do tag matches with you?" I was like, "I would absolutely love that."
Have we worked out the shoes yet?
He did this last week, so watch on the upcoming episode. He did finally get colorful shoes.
Oh, thank God!
We talk about it.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible, man. He just wasn't getting on board. There was those flat black shoes. Now, who would be your ideal third? Because you guys have had a lot of thirds. If you guys are going to try to win back the trios titles from the Embassy and avenge the Elite, who's your third? Who's the ideal third?
Joke that when he was first giving me the idea of like, I'll team with you and I'll wear a tracksuit. I was like, it would be hilarious in the tracksuit. His Big Show. That it doesn't fit him. It's just way too big and it's like shredded down the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you could get him back.
Just hilarious. I was like, even if it's for a one shot, I was like, it doesn't have to be our partner forever. But I was like, that would just be, to me, visually, because I go for that. I go for the fun. I'm like, him trying to get in one of our tracksuits would be hilarious. So Paul White, the Big Show.
What?
I was surprised because he plays with Joe Manganiello. I was surprised to hear that. And then when I approached him, I was like, so you play D&D? He knows more than anyone I've ever met about D&D. When he guessed it on us, he sat next to me and he was telling me the rules to have them. He's like, you're going to make them roll Constitution save right now, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, he knows everything. He's like, oh, that weapon, you get like a 2d4 plus like 2. Like, he is so, but it's because he's played with Joe Manganiello as his DM, and he said it's like a D&D boot camp with him. He's all, he will not let you get long rests. He will make you use all of your spell slots. So then now you're just running on fumes. And like then you have to like keep like watch and stuff. So like maybe 2 of your party got a long rest and the rest didn't. So he knows like it's like he's been like a PTSD like war vet. Of like I know what it's like to not have spell slots for 3 days. Yeah, but it's so surprising. Anytime I talk with him, he'll just start spewing out like D&D facts.
Are we ever going to see another episode of AEW D&D Critical Botch? Is there more? It's been a minute.
So,
yeah.
Everyone that was involved is always up to do it again. It's just trying to get that many adults, like any D&D session of like, does Thursday ever work for you guys? Does this day ever work? The only reason I think it ever worked is because it was during the pandemic era, and we would be doing
free time. We
would film a live Dynamite, and then on Thursday after that, we'd tape one. So then we could be home for 2 weeks because of all the COVID protocol and all. And so we would always do it on that week we were home. We would do so. It was every other week during the pandemic. We would do that Critical Watch, and I think that was just the only reason we ever got to do it. Because now everyone's doing not only Dynamites, now Rampages and Collisions are a thing, and then everyone has like also like some indie bookings they're doing on the weekends. So it's like we'll never get, I think, all of us of like a free time to be like, yeah, let's just do it. Because me and Orange like at least once a month talk about doing another Critical Botch or like starting a Baldur's Gate or like an AEW Baldur's Gate campaign where it's like we only need 4, like that should be easier. And like we talk for hours about trying to do a thing, and then it's like it doesn't happen. Even Athena, she's come to me and Orange with some projects sometimes of like, hey, I got something cooking in the books, something D&D related. You guys interested? We're like, absolutely. I'll make whatever work. And then it's just that of like, we talk a lot about it.
The face mask gimmick. It started off as a legit injury. It became a look. Now I have speculation. I need you to answer this for me very seriously. We need to look behind the curtain on this. Did you have to give up the mask because Cody wants to go back to using the gimmick?
Look, he wants it.
Did he call you up? Do you still speak with the wrestlers who were, one-time regular guests on Being the Elite, like Cody? Does that happen?
Right. Every now and then, I'll text Cody here and there. But yeah, that mask, that was funny. That I never even needed to wear the mask. It was that I was doing the Stooge thing, and I broke my nose and my orbital bone. Yeah. And so this was when the Bucks were doing all like crazy earrings and nose rings and jewelry. And so I was like, I wonder if my character can have a ridiculous over-the-top thing like that. I was like, I wonder if I just wear an obnoxious face mask for my face. There was another one that was even more obnoxious. It looked like a baseball, was it like catchers? Like it was just a huge, it was like a huge padded face. That I was all, that might be a little much. So I was like, maybe I'll just start with this face mask, this clear face mask, and see how that looks, and then go from there. And then when I was starting to wear it, I was like, this is a look with this character and all the facial expressions. I was like, so that's why I kept it for so long, because I was like, this is like part of the identity here. It was like the face mask. And then after a while of having matches with it, it's so annoying to wear in a ring.
I bet.
Like you lose all peripheral vision. It constantly keeps like shifting to the side. Like it's good, like I guess if you're playing basketball and like there's not that much contact and you want to protect your face. But in wrestling, it's almost like it's actually just rubbing against my nose and almost going to break it again. I'm like, it's not good in wrestling matches. But then when I did that tracksuit, I found this tracksuit. Funny enough, it's on Amazon. Anyone can buy it. And a bunch of people have bought it. And I love seeing it when people wear it to shows. I'm just like, hey, they found it. Or like on my Twitch channels, people ask me and I'll just put the link up. I'll be like, oh yeah, you can buy one right here. I feel like I do need to have a third gimmick so I can have like the McFoley, like I can have a Dude Love, a Cactus Jack. Like I got the Dragon and I got the Stooge. Like I need a third one. I got to come up with a completely different third gimmick that has nothing to do with these other two.
It's too bad you can't go to the wizard with the beard because you got
wizard.
Jericho's gonna get.
If I go back to like a D&D thing,
man.
It's like maybe I was a sorcerer in the other jacket, and then this one I'm more of a wizard, and I'll keep switching up every time I go back into a D&D thing.
I mean, you got so many different classes you can work with if you're talking about D&D, right?
Yeah. Right, yeah. Could do a barbarian or something.
I
want to like braid my beard and do like as if I was a dwarf or something like that.
The tallest dwarf in the world.
Right, yeah. 6'2" dwarf.
The first episode of Dynamite. You lost your singles debut against MJF. Is it time for a rematch?
Maybe.
I mean, he's just collecting enemies from all over.
Where he's at right now, and like if I'm like the lovable stooge, that's not like too good of a matchup because he's like everybody's scumbag or whatever. So it's like he's kind of a baby face now, and then like I'm kind of like the lovable baby face. I'm like one of us has to. It would be better if I went heel, so that it's like we face each other, and now we're on the opposite ends. I'm bullying him this time about being a nerd.
There you go. So you're the cameraman for Being the Elite, as well as you do a lot of editing as well. I think you're the main editor at this point. I want to say I was watching the last episode, and what you did with the push-in on MJF and Omega was actually really good camera work. That was great. Do you have any tips for the beginning filmmakers or cameramen out there who might be watching?
Kind of just watch shows or like just those classic, like there's things that you just like that of like that pushing of like, get real close to his ear when he whispers that are just like intuitive that like it's, you don't even like, I don't know most of the lingo for a lot of the stuff I do, but I'm like, movies when they do this thing or something, or like, when the focus shifts from this to this. I said it to one of our actual producers on our show. He's like, oh yeah, it's called this shot. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense if it has a name. But I'm like, half the stuff I do, I'm just like, oh yeah, like when they like, I think I was explaining it like, I did it with Orange and Statlander when they were like being a thing on Being the Elite, where it was like I had the focus in the foreground on Orange, and then he turns to the side and we focused on the back and like Statlander's standing there. I was explaining that shot to one of our guys, and I don't remember it, but he told me what the name of that is. He's like, it's like a quick shot or whatever, or like a quick frame or something. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I'm not, one of our actual producers on the show. This is why it's 2BTE.
Well, you got some great shots. I was impressed with that one. Was that a one take affair? Did you nail that right at the time?
That was a one take.
Awesome.
Lately, we've been doing more one takes, and then I'll just have to like cut some of the stuff that's in, or like cut at the end when it's like, okay, yeah, we rambled for like another 5 minutes, but you guys just saw the first 2 minutes or something.
Have you been scanned for AEW Fight Forever?
I've been scanned for the toys and stuff. I don't know if they even need to scan you really for the game. I don't know. I've done voice lines. I'll say that. A lot of people have though. I've done voice lines for the game of like the grunts and growls if you're getting hit, like the like I've done those. But I mean, a lot of people have, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I think they did like an overall coverage of let's just get everybody, and then like then we'll sort out who we're actually doing and stuff. But yeah, I don't think you need to get like a digital scan or anything on that. I don't think. But then maybe that's why I'm not in the game, is because I haven't done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that insight. I know a lot of times that'll come out and people are like, oh, this means that this guy's coming, but they just kind of did everybody. And
sometimes they just do that blanket coverage of no, let's just get everybody, so it makes it easier on later when last second of like, oh, you know what, we can get this person in. It's like, oh, great, good thing we got everybody's voices already then. Yeah.
Well, we'd love to see you. We'd love to see you in the game, Brandon. And thanks for doing this talk with us. Thank you so much to Brandon Cutler and everyone there at the All Elite Zone for facilitating that interview. If you want to see the full interview, and you do, make sure you use the link down below and go see the full interview. Brandon Cutler talks about all kinds of things. Wrestling related, about his personal life, what he likes to do in his free time. He's a really fascinating guy, super cool guy. It's with the All Elite Zone, amazing podcast. Make sure you go, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be there a lot, I hear. I believe I'll be on there every Thursday live, and then you can catch the pre-recordings as well. So make sure you subscribe to them. There's going to be a lot of cool content there, like this interview. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Everybody, thank you for watching this little snippet of the interview. Now you got to go watch the whole thing There's a lot of other great videos on this channel as well, so make sure you check all of that out. And grave diggers, keep digging.
All right, like, subscribe, and watch another video, or be cursed. If you're cursed, that means the grave diggers will keep digging your graves. So you probably want to.
I fall down on my knees in praise of the horrible things that took her away.